Were they right when they said more money, more problems? Like when you get a raise, yet you don't feel any more financially well off than you were before in the past. I promise I will talk about this in an upcoming video, and this is Talks with TJ, so let's talk about lifestyle creep. It usually happens one of three ways. You work really hard and you earn more in the role you're currently in. Maybe you switch jobs to up the actual salary you're being paid, or you add an additional stream of income because, hey, hustle a little bit harder, but within reason. You know what that means? More money. So far, so good. Maybe you celebrate this new win with a really nice dinner, a night out with friends, or hear me out, you treat yourself to a sneaker or two, or maybe even three. Okay, listen, you've earned it. Celebrate yourself in that moment. But now here's the thing. Now it's time to game plan, because more money can lead to more problems and you being no better off financially than you were before. Like you feel like you should get ahead. You should be able to breathe a little easier, you know, relax a little bit, get the tension out of your shoulders, but you possibly can't do that based on how you're choosing to spend that new money. And I know you're thinking, wait, what do you mean I make more money yet I feel the exact same amount of stress? Yeah, that's called lifestyle creep. To keep it simple, I usually see lifestyle creep happening in two ways, and it's taking you deserve it and treat yourself a little too far. Lifestyle creep number one, you treat yourself with all or most of the brand new income you just earned. For example, you receive a $500 raise. Now that's net after taxes are taken out, and that's amazing, that's awesome, you earn that. So you should be able to knock off a few things on your checklist, on your goals list, right? Maybe you are able to put a little bit more towards savings. Maybe you can hit that savings goal a little faster. Maybe you can invest a little bit more, because a lot of us have in our minds, I would love to put this extra dollar amount towards investing, saving, hit this short-term goal, hit this long-term goal, max out my IRA, Roth IRA every single year. Maybe that's a goal you have. And with that extra $500, you could certainly put something towards that. You could make a little bit of headway. When it comes to that $500, maybe you put 200 of that towards a savings goal, maybe another 200 towards investing, and 100, it's just for fun. You can put it towards, I don't know, going out with friends. You can maybe treat yourself to eating out a little bit more. You could treat yourself towards that grail pair that you want. Just start stacking that extra $100 every single month. I mean, that's $1,200 by the time the year ends. So you have options, and that's a threefold way of looking at approaching increased income, or that extra gap that you now have. But what if you don't do that? You decide to blow all of it, and I mean all of it, all $500 extra per month on sneakers and eating out with friends. That's it. That's all you intend to do with it. So you buy that extra pair, you go out a little bit more for drinks or just eating out, or you DoorDash it all away. And now you're in the exact same financial position. Like now you're not any closer to reaching your financial goals faster. You're on the exact same pace. Like you didn't gain anything truly. And don't get me wrong, this is the easiest thing to correct, because it simply means, hey, get yourself in check and you pull back on whatever it is that you're doing. So in this situation, eating out, maybe you don't go and buy that extra pair of sneakers. I'm just saying this is the easiest one to correct. The second one, not so much. So creep number two, you decide to increase all of your fixed expenses, okay? Not variable, which is just your fun money and your spending. No, your fixed expenses, you've decided to increase those, which is very risky. And it also makes it a little bit more difficult to undo what you just did. The same additional $500 income net that you bring home. But you know what? You're like, hey, I worked hard, so I want a newer car, and that's gonna cost me an extra $200 a month for that car note, but that's fine, whatever, I deserve it. So you go ahead and sign for that newer car. And then also, I want a nicer place. I want more space, slide bar. So you decide to get a bigger place. That now would take away the entire extra gap of that $500. So to be honest though, it could likely take away more. I'm just being real, but let's just say conservatively, it's an extra $300 a month. So now that entire $500 is wiped out. But here's the thing, those are fixed expenses, because unless you choose to sell that car or move, break your lease more than likely, and get out of that apartment or wherever you are, you're now stuck paying those additional fixed $500 expenses every single month. It doesn't matter. You didn't even choose to maybe only do one of those. You didn't choose to just maybe I'll get the car and stay in the same place I'm in and do more with the $300. Or you didn't decide maybe I will go to a nicer place because I work from home. So most of my time is spent at home. The nicer place, the office, that makes sense. But the other $200 should certainly go towards savings or investing a little bit more. Nope, you just said I deserve it and I'm doing this. And maybe it could be from peer pressure and social media and you seeing other people buying things and doing things, and you want to show off the place you live and you want to show off the car you have, and it is a trap now that is very difficult to get out of. Like, this is the dangerous side of lifestyle creep. This is the scary reality that a lot of people faced in 2020. What if, okay, you've upped those fixed expenses, right? What if you lose your job? What if you lose a major stream of income? See, with the first one, it's a little bit easier. You simply pull back on all of that fun spending and everything you're doing out on the town. You just pull back on that, right? You don't have DoorDash come by your residence as much, and you stop buying that extra pair of shoes, and you stop eating out as much. That's fine. That's manageable until you move on to your next job, and hopefully you already have like 6 months of an emergency fund saved up to get you by during that gap of employment, or until you get another stream of income in. But if it's the latter, if you up those fixed expenses, no. Now you have no choice but to continue to pay for that higher overhead, for the car, for the roof over your head. And I really hope that you adjust it, whatever your emergency fund was. See, that's the other thing people don't think about. When you up your fixed expenses, you now need to also up your emergency fund, because it means you would need more to cover you month to month. God forbid something were to happen. And I simply wouldn't want people to have to do that, but that is the reality. So the latter, you upping those fixed expenses for lifestyle creep, it can be super dangerous, because now it's more difficult to get out of. And I understand once you have worked really hard and you earn more, I will say this, there is certainly a part of you that's entitled to do more with that money. Maybe you are able to treat yourself to that one extra pair of sneakers. I'm not saying don't. Maybe try this approach. When you earn more, one way to try to prevent lifestyle creep is to either keep what you're already doing in terms of treating yourself, keep that percentage the same of whatever your actual pay is. So the entire gap, that new gap of what you're bringing in now, it's not all taken up by fun. So if you were spending, let's say, I know some people like percentages, if you were spending 20% on wants, then you keep that same 20%. I would say another way to look at it, if you want to treat yourself more, that's fine, but much more, a much higher percentage of what you are bringing in that gap of income now should go towards saving, investing, a short-term goal, a long-term goal, something that actually stabilizes you a little better financially. Please don't just worry about building your collection up more or going out with friends more. I know people will say, oh, like everybody does everything for the Instagram moment. Yeah, that Instagram moment, unless you're an influencer with a sponsorship, you're not getting paid for that. So please just keep that in mind. It's amazing to earn more, but it's honestly not about how much money you have. It's about how much money you keep. That is behavior. That is on you. Appreciate you tuning in. As always, act your age, not your shoe size. Peace.